Tonight on The Edge, using AI to prevent mass shootings. Eastern Michigan University has invested in the futuristic technology to keep everyone on campus safe. Fox 2's Scott Wolchek joins us on The Edge with that story. Scott.
In an emergency situation, every second matters, and that's the philosophy here at Eastern Michigan University, where pretty soon cameras just like this one are going to be outfitted with a brand new AI system to auto-detect firearms and instantly alert security, potentially saving lives.
I pray it never happens here, but the reality is you just never know.
School shootings weighing on the minds of students at Eastern Michigan University.
I mean, we had Oxford, we had Michigan State, which was terrifying.
Is this something that you think about sometimes on campus?
I think about it at least once a week, just because, I just remember Michigan State.
And because of the mass shooting at MSU that left 3 students dead and 5 others injured in February, EMU is ramping up its security, bringing on a new AI tool called Zero Eyes. All 500 cameras on campus will be able to detect if somebody is holding a firearm and alert a security team instantly.
We know where the individual is at, and we know or have the ability to track them when they move in and out of buildings.
How important is that?
That is incredibly important. Every second matters.
EMU Police Chief Matthew Lodge says the system costs around $300,000, a heavy investment that could save lives.
My hope is we never have to use this, but if we do, this puts EMU in a position to better protect our students and staff.
For students, it's a sigh of relief.
When I heard about it, I was overly joyed because that means our campus is going to be safer, especially what happened up at Michigan State. I think every college campus should implement something like this to keep the students safe.
And honestly, I think it's great that they're trying to actually do something after years of protesting about school shootings.
Phoenix Tangway, a sophomore, believes there is still more work to be done.
Just personally, I would like better mental health services in the future, just so we can make it a problem of the past.
Others feel their voice is being heard. Do you feel safe?
I do. I do feel safe here, yes.
Zero Eyes will begin to be rolled out starting mid-October, and the chief tells me that every camera on campus should have this system programmed into it by the end of the semester. Reporting in Ypsilanti, Scott Wolchek on The Edge.
Taylor police are looking for a dangerous gunman tonight. 19-year-old Ryan Ramsey II is wanted for shooting at officers late last night at Pond Village Drive near Eureka Road. Now, police were responding to a 911 call at the time. Fortunately, no officers were hit. Ramsey is considered armed and dangerous. Call Taylor PD right away if you have any information about his whereabouts. Well, it was this time last week some UAW workers were getting ready to hit the picket lines. Now, others could join them. There is still no deal between the union and the Big Three, and President Shawn Fain is expected to call for more walkouts tomorrow. Let's get right to Fox News' Dave Kinchin. He joins us now, and he's been tracking the latest information. Dave.
Yeah, and Roop, there are some new developments tonight. Ford says it continues to negotiate with the UAW, but there's no deal yet, as you said. Ford says they're continuing to negotiate in good faith. But meantime, some automakers are responding to a Detroit News report documenting internal UAW emails alleging efforts to damage the reputations and operations of the Detroit automakers. Ford calls the report disappointing, to say the least, and they say they continue to work in good faith to strike a deal with the union. Meantime, analysts say a long strike could cost Michigan more than 150,000 jobs.
We're willing to make the sacrifice, whatever it takes. They know that we gave up a lot, so just send something back. That's all we're asking for. Equality, that's what we're looking for.
It's the mood among workers picketing outside Ford Michigan Assembly in Wayne as the UAW's targeted stand-up strike finishes out day 7. But industry experts say 3 more weeks of this would be detrimental to the economy.
If the strike were to ramp up, affect all 3 companies, and all 3 companies were struck company-wide, then it could result in the loss of 150,000 jobs, a 4-week strike in Michigan, and it could be hundreds of thousands across the country.
Business professor Merrick Masters of Wayne State University also says up to $1.5 billion in personal income would be lost. He breaks it all down.
The supplier base is one of the first that will be hit hardest. And for example, already now you have U.S. Steel, which has idled a plant in Granite City, affecting over 1,400 workers. You have CIE, which is a supplier, which has idled 300 workers. So there are ramifications in even this very short period of time.
So how do the workers feel about such estimates?
Well, I feel sorry for them, and I just hope it don't go that far. I don't want anybody to lose their job. This is not about us losing our job. This is about us getting better benefits from our company, who making a lot of money on our backs.
Just willing to go the distance. We've gave up a lot. We just want something back.
If the strike does go to a month or more, Masters says there would be a point of no return.
It becomes almost impossible to recoup the damages, because one thing we know for certain is that with respect to the businesses, the competition is not going to stand idle. They're going to do what they can.
And meantime, GM is responding to that UAW story, saying now it is now clear that the UAW leadership has always intended to cause months-long disruption, regardless of the harm it causes to its members and their communities. The leaked information calls into question who is actually in charge of UAW's strategy and shows a callous disregard for the seriousness of what's at stake. UAW leadership needs to put the interests of its members and the country over their own ideological and personal agendas. This is GM now saying we've put a fifth record offer on the table and are ready, as we have been, to bargain in good faith to reach a deal that rewards our team members and also allows GM to succeed and thrive into the future. And remember, the UAW filed charges of unfair labor practices with the National Labor Relations Board against the union, filing that against GM and Stellantis early on in this process. So the union has been playing hardball the whole time, and Big Three looks like they might be doing that too, with 2,000 people laid off between Ford and Stellantis in regards to a lot of the layoffs, or the strikes already taking place.
Yeah, and Dave, you heard from that gentleman who you interviewed today out on the picket line saying we gave up a lot. He's talking about what happened in 2008 when General Motors and Chrysler were on their knees and were going bankrupt at the time, and they said we need to do something. And these workers gave up a lot, and their pay was frozen at that time. And now it's time, they're saying, for the automakers to kind of recoup that, plus get more of the cost of living increase they think they deserve.
Yeah, the unions definitely want that back. They want the classic pensions back that they gave up. But the Big Three, they're saying pensions would be very expensive as they try to transition into electrification. So there's a lot still to be sorted out here.
And let's hope they sort that out sooner than later. Good for both sides. Dave Kinchin for us live tonight. Thank you. We are learning more now about the mysterious death of Tennessee State University student Mia Canoe. Now, according to new information from Southfield Police, the 23-year-old woman fell out of a car while she was vomiting. The driver, her friend, apparently never stopped.
Drunk driving is not a joke. And this whole situation boils down to that. She was so drunk she didn't notice her friend fell out of a car.
Canoe's body was found on Providence Drive back in June. Shortly after she fell out of the vehicle, aid was rendered within 6 minutes, but the veterinary student simply could not be saved. This week, 23-year-old Kentia Fern was charged with leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death, as well as operating a vehicle while intoxicated. She faces up to 5 years in prison if convicted. We're also learning more about another shocking death from June. Now a mother from Howell is facing charges for the death of her 2-year-old child. The toddler got a hold of a gun inside a home on Oak Squire. Now, there were questions at this point as to which parent the unsecured weapon belonged to. The child's father is a corporal in Dearborn Police Department, but it is his wife, Tanya Lacey, that is now being charged with second-degree child abuse. Her arraignment is scheduled for next week. A confirmed case of hepatitis A reported at Pine Knob in Clarkston. The case associated with the Ivy Lounge, which is a private club for members. Now, the person was likely exposed at the Jason Aldean concert. The Oakland County Health Department advising anyone who was at the lounge between August 26th and September 8th to watch for symptoms and get vaccinated for hepatitis A. Symptoms include abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting, and may appear 2 to 6 weeks after being exposed. You can get a vaccination at the health department through Saturday. All right, let's get a check on the weather now. We're getting closer now to the first day of fall, but summer has made a comeback. And that is good news. Joining us now, Rich Ludeman with a look at our forecast.
I was here all along. I stepped out, now I stepped back.
And now you're
in.
back.
All is well. What a beautiful day today. We topped out near 80 degrees in many spots. It's going to be nice again tomorrow. You're going to see this weak system out around Chicago, bringing some shower activity in and around the Windy City. That's not coming our way. Notice fair weather clouds over the southern part of Michigan. So as a result, it's going to be quiet for the rest of tonight. You can see some light showers out over Lake Michigan as well. Here are the daytime highs. For us officially, 79 Metro Airport. Look at Bad Axe. There's Grand Rapids way up there around Houghton. 82 degrees, 85 in Green Bay. How about some more numbers? You're going to see temperatures falling off steadily through the night. Once again, I got a little clicker problem here. Something there. Just go nice and slow. There it is. It just went ahead. There we go. How about the current readings? 66 in Howe, 62 Mount Clemens, 64 in Monroe. The breeze is light, but the temperatures are not going to be as cold tonight as what we've had the last few nights. There's the maps for you. Nothing coming our way. So as a result, it's dry weather heading through the weekend and beyond. Down to 61 tonight. For tomorrow, we're going to be back near 80 degrees. That's your Friday forecast. And then right there is the 7-day. Look at that. Temperatures looking good for the weekend, falling off a bit next week. A full check at 4 a.m.
Losing a life, I couldn't imagine it.
We are learning more information about that fiery, deadly crash outside the Macomb County Circuit Courthouse. You saw the story breaking here Wednesday night on the Edge at 11. Surveillance video capturing the moment of impact. Now, we're told that victim was 18 years old. Investigators are still looking into what caused the crash. The victim's name has not yet been released. Well, a panicked mother in Sterling Heights calls 911 when she finds her 7-year-old daughter unresponsive. Officers were able to save that girl, and the intense moments were caught on body camera.
911, what's the address of your emergency? Okay, listen.
It's a chaotic scene. You know, you have a mom that's you know, obviously hysterical, right? She doesn't know what to do. She just needs help now.
3, 4, 5.
You see me? There you go.
Our officers are parents as well, you know, so that weighs on their shoulders. The fire department, same as them.
Hey, sweetheart, can you see us? No. Got a little breath out of her right there. You're okay, baby.
Seeing that little girl sitting up on the cot as they pulled her out of the back of the ambulance when we arrived at Corwell Health was really awesome. And I looked over at Mom and I said, look at her sitting up.
We're told that little girl was likely suffering from an asthma attack brought on by an allergic reaction. We're so thankful to the first responders who were able to save her life.